What's up, guys? Bradley Overrated coming at you with another one of my beautiful overrated reviews, the most simplistic reviews on all of YouTube. And I've got to tell you, when I first played Night in the Woods, I was not that into it. I thought it was really slow and kind of weird. But by the end of the game, I was hooked, man. This was something else, and that's a good thing. So to sum up the story, you play as Mae Borowski, a female 20-year-old girl that went to college and is now returning home and has essentially dropped out of college for unspecified reasons. And that's about it. She'll meet up with some of her old friends and, she'll be back home with her family. But when she gets home, she'll discover that things are just not quite the same. All of her friends now have jobs and responsibilities. A lot of people are treating her different because there was also an incident apparently in her past that people still remember to this day. And it gets really intense, which is surprising, but I don't want to spoil anything, but let me just say this is a story about friendship, and if you're into WTF moments, this game actually packs quite a few of them. And the cool thing about this simplistic adventure game is there's a lot of side activities you can do. For example, you can play the bass guitar and be in a band with your friends and play essentially a mini rhythm game. It's really entertaining, and I was surprised by how fun it was. I do wish there were more songs, but that's besides the point. There's also a thing that you'll acquire, and you can go online, called the Demon Tower. It's basically a good old classic dungeon crawler-esque type of game that you can play. It's complete with levels and boss fights, and it gets harder as you go along. I spent a couple of hours in the Demon Tower just because of how fun it actually was. So it's nice that they brought in some other aspects to this game, and it wasn't just a run around and explore the town, which is basically all you do for the majority of the game. Like I said, at first, exploring the town is really boring. It's not very engaging in the least. There's not a lot of things you can do, but as you go along, you'll start connecting with the people of the town. You'll start finding other people and more things to do. Like, you'll find this guy that's on a roof that helps you to be able to look at the stars and learn these little mini stories about people from the past. As you start to reconnect with your friends, you'll be able to do more activities with them. Greg, who's here on the screen, is my personal favorite. This guy is just awesome. And the story, oh man, I don't want to spoil anything, but let me just say this story has so many elements of surprise, elements of horror, elements of panic, and it tackles a lot of big issues that you wouldn't expect from a simple game like this. Issues such as anxiety disorders, depression, fear, the uncertainty that is life, the meaning of life even gets tackled in this game. They took some big swings in this game, and for the most part, they succeeded on what they delivered here. Now, like I said, there were some pacing issues I had, because exploring the town can be very tedious at times, and there were times that, honestly, I didn't want to explore the town anymore. I just instead chose to go to the next objective, essentially, because I was just kind of bored of, once again, trying to go through the same parts of town and see if there was anything new to discover. And on that note of discovery, Mae will keep with her at all times a journal that she will fill in as you uncover specific events. There are definitely events that you will miss, and there are events that you can miss if you don't do a very good job exploring, which encourages you to go back and replay the game, which I actually appreciated, as these journal entries were really unique and fun to uncover. I actually really enjoyed that. It was something I didn't think I was going to be that into, but as I finished this game and noticed some blank pages, now I just want to go back and find those blank pages, which is pretty cool. Now, outside of their journal entry, there is another collectible that you can get in the extras, and it's basically, as you go through the game and you play the events, you will unlock concept art for the game, which is cool, but I kind of wish they would have just included a bunch of it. Maybe it's because only certain events and they didn't want to spoil anything, and that's why. I kind of, though, still wish they would have just included all the concept art once you beat the game. But like I said, it could be because certain concept art that they had for the game came from specific events in the game, so they didn't want to spoil it. I should also mention that There's no way to listen to the soundtrack, which is a shame, because the soundtrack is really awesome. There's a great variety of music in this game, and it's all very enjoyable. Now, the last thing I want to talk about before I give this game a letter grade and wrap up this review is the price tag. This game is $20 for an indie title, and is it worth 20 bucks? Well, I bought it on sale, and I can tell you right now, if this game is ever on sale, it is easily worth that price. $20? I'm still gonna say yes. I'm gonna say yes, because this game, I got about 10 to 12 hours of content on my first playthrough, but like I said, there is replay value here, and I will definitely be jumping back in and tackling this game again. So I think if you're someone who's really into indie games and these nice adventure games similar to Oxenfree, this is a game that you will really enjoy because it is worth that price of admission. But if you're on the fence about it, wait for it to go on sale, and then I definitely recommend giving it a shot. Alright guys, that wraps up my review, so let's give this game a score. Now, for those of you that don't know, I give letter grades because I love letter grades. A being the best, F being the worst. And when you think about all that Night in the Woods has to offer, it offers you a great variety of content, and I was just so impressed by what they did here. There are some pacing issues, like I said, sometimes it can get a little boring and drag, but for the most part, this is a solid game, and I give Night in the Woods a B+. Alright guys, that wraps up my review of Night in the Woods. It was a great game. I hope you enjoyed this content, and if you did, be sure to leave a like and subscribe to my channel. I do reviews every single week and a bunch of other random stuff, so be sure to check it out. Thank you so much for watching. I am Bradley Overrated, and I'm out like a trout.